Chris Wilhelm, and welcome to my weekly video blog. Well, last week we reported that FHA may need a bailout, but we told you don't buy into that headline because they had over $31 billion in reserves, but they were required to have $46 billion due to the amount of volume that they've done. And that's after a 2007-2009 landslide of payoffs where they had to pay out the insurance premium. So as we speak to you right now, FHA is in good standing. But based on that news, FHA has introduced some tweaks, if you have it, that will be coming, and some are more immediate than the others. So let's kind of do a quick breakdown. The most immediate one is that they're talking about increasing the annual mortgage insurance, which currently is at 1.25% annually, and increasing it by 10 basis points, bringing it up to 1.35. So here's some quick numbers for you on how this will impact your buyers or borrowers. Currently on a $195,000 mortgage, the annual insurance would go up $16.35%. When you convert that based on current interest rates into mortgage money, that's roughly about $3,800 in mortgage money. So it's not the end of the world, but certainly will have an impact from a payment perspective, also a qualification standpoint. Some of the other ones they're talking about, this one's a little bit more in depth if you have it. Currently on an FHA loan, once the borrower has paid down the loan where they're at a 78 loan to value, the mortgage insurance automatically drops off. Also at FHA, the mortgage insurance goes down each year as the balance goes down. So that's the way it currently operates, which is very similar to how a conventional type loan operates as well. Here's the difference now. What they're proposing is that the mortgage insurance would never drop off. It would be for the life of the loan. So certainly the carrying cost and the overall finance charges will be greater now with an FHA loan due to the fact that they would have to carry the MI for the life of the loan. So look for that sometime in 2013. Here's a couple of the highlights that they have. They're talking about more financial counseling for applicants with lower FICO scores and with borrowers only putting down the minimum 3.5%. That's a reality. They're going to be required to go through some type of financial classes, so on and so forth. It could be an online thing. A lot of the PMI insurance companies offer this right now, and some of these requirements are on conventional loans, so you're starting to see this come back into the FHA. The other one, which is pretty big and is pretty immediate too as far as the marketplace we're in right now. The new short sale program will reaching out for borrowers that have an FHA insured loan who are behind on the mortgage and help expedite through the servicer getting a quicker payoff to get that short sale off the market. So that's pretty big news, especially for some of you agents that deal in short sales. So if we're looking for that change in 2013, that'll probably be one that'll be done in the first quarter along with the monthly MI going up. So again, we want to make sure we got this information out to you. None of it's official, but certainly they're trending toward these things. So it's important you share this information with your buyers or borrowers, and we're trying to let them know, especially the big one about mortgage insurance being for the life of the loan, which they'll probably give us at least a 60 to 90 day notice. So we'll make sure we keep you abreast on that one. As always, we appreciate you tuning in. Any questions or comments? Fill out below. See you next week.
I want to talk a little bit about goals on the line of how do you lose 37 pounds and write a book. I'm just going to kind of give you that as an example. For 24 years of my adult life, by choice, I weighed well over 200 pounds. I say by choice because, you see, I have never accidentally eaten anything. I mean, it's always been deliberate. And when I choose to eat too much today, I have chosen to weigh too much tomorrow.
Hey, well, welcome back. Today is Wednesday, November 28th. Zig Ziglar passed away today. He was a motivational speaker. He had a folksy way about him. He's from Alabama. He certainly wasn't Tony Robbins. He wasn't walking on firestones and some of those things. He just had a folksy way about him. There's a thing that hangs over my shoulder. This is actually in my office that I see every single day. And it basically reads that, Zig had spoken. Afterwards, a spectator said to him, Zig, motivation doesn't last. And Zig responded back, he goes, bathing doesn't last either. That's why I try and do it every single day. That's just a small example of part of his folksy way. And he had many famous quotes. I had the privilege to see him 4 times, and I have his tapes, and I've read a lot of his books, and he always had good stories, and they were like real life stories. It wasn't about some abstract thing. But I think one thing that one of his famous quotes that I think that I kind of think is neat, I like to share with you, it says, I believe that being successful means having a balance of success stories across the many areas of your life. You can't truly be considered successful in your business life if your home life is in a shambles. So that's some pretty strong stuff. So again, I know you can't see Zig Ziglar now because he's passed away, but certainly there's videos out there, and I would recommend his print stuff. Some of his books are really good. So if you get a chance, if you haven't read it before or haven't seen one of his videos, make sure you check it out. I have a lot of his stuff, so feel free to give me a call and borrow it. So here's saying, rest in peace, Zig Ziglar. We know where you're at, and we appreciate your time here on Earth. We'll see you guys next week.
Indeed, ladies and gentlemen, you absolutely must have those goals. You got to write them down. You got to put a date on it. You got to identify those obstacles. You've got to identify the people, the groups you need to work with. You got to find out what it is you need to know. You got to develop a plan of action, and you got to write it down. What's in it for me? Now, that's a formula that I have just given you, pure and simple.